Two Blue Vortex Chapter 1 revealed Mitsuki's resolve to kill Boruto. He was the first person in Chapter 80 to activate his Sage Mode to eliminate him. As for the last 3 years, his killing intent has been seeping out to protect the sun to his moon. However, we all know this anger is misplaced, as the man behind everything is Kawaki. In Chapter 1 of Two Blue Vortex, we see the dynamic of their relationship being much more cold, which really doesn't match up with Mitsuki's memories due to Ada's omnipotence rewriting reality to swap the lives of Kawaki and Boruto. But we see that this leads to Mitsuki questioning whether or not Kawaki truly is the sun that can illuminate him, as we will dive deep into proving that Orochimaru has made Mitsuki out of Shinjutsu, the power of gods. So, with such a huge plot development, it's time for us to go deep.
He said it!
Let's begin with the intent of Mitsuki's father and mother, both of which are Orochimaru. One of the things that made him so intriguing was his pursuit of complete knowledge and immortality. He was a man of science who, in his journey to learn all jutsu, would experiment to create new ones, some of which were forbidden, punishable by death. But hey, that didn't stop Naruto from forgiving him, am I right? Even though his death toll by the end of Shippuden ended up being tens of thousands. However, Orochimaru decided to observe Sasuke's new perspective on life. Thus, he turned over a new leaf and ceased his evil actions, instead desiring to protect the planet from the threat of the Otsutsuki. However, he makes it clear that even though his means are seen as evil, in the end, someone like Orochimaru can still be necessary and proven useful, as Konoha will receive the benefits of keeping him around when another threat appears. This was stated in Sasuke's novel, which was adapted in episode 485. So, you're probably wondering, ABD, how do you know Orochimaru discovered Shinjutsu and created Mitsuki with the purpose to be Boruto's moon? Well, the evidence is in episode 55. Momoshiki and Kinshiki discovered that all of Kaguya's scrolls were gone, and Orochimaru, being who he is, would have taken those scrolls whilst on his search for knowledge after witnessing the events with Tsunori. This is why, in Boruto Chapter 34, he knew that the Byakuga seal stemmed from the Sage of Six Paths, which resulted in saving Naruto's life, as he knew Naruto was suffering from the same illness as him through his research. Remember the arc where Sasuke fought dinosaurs? Yeah, that one.
Peak fiction.
And since a lot of you think Tsunori can be Mitsuki's baby daddy, which I don't blame you, just look at the two.
They're the same picture.
This isn't possible, as Otsutsuki should not be affected by Ada's Shinjutsu, but Mitsuki has been. So, sorry, that theory got shot down. In spite of that, Mitsuki is Orochimaru's attempt at creating man-made Shinjutsu. After all, it would make sense for a man who spent 70 years researching all the techniques. For example, in chapter 346, as he is being killed by, Sasuke, he screams out that he will be the one to solve all the mysteries of nature and receive everything. Naruto chapter 344 was when his curiosity peaked after discovering white snakes, which Hiruzen, the third Hokage, told him it's a symbol of good luck and renewal, which eventually pushed Orochimaru into seeking and achieving immortality. As even Naruto points out, he looks way too young for his age in Boruto, as he has achieved it. This proves Orochimaru's interest in the divine and the realm of immortality which the Otsutsuki represent. We cannot forget this Otsutsuki connection would further be explained with Orochimaru's obsession in learning all things and the origin of life, where Amado told us Shinjutsu is the precursor and origin to all things. Funnily enough, the idea of immortality also follows the creed of the Otsutsuki that Momoshiki mentioned, that the creed of the clan is to pass on their power and use the karma to revive themselves. This is the exact thing Orochimaru has been been trying to replicate all his life by hopping from vessel to vessel to achieve immortality via a curse mark he implants on them. But we all know the real reason he has immortality now is that so he can play War Thunder. Now, if you're wondering what on earth everybody has been doing for the past few years in the time skip, then I have the answer. Remember Boruto liked playing video games whilst he was a kid? He didn't stop doing that. They've been playing War Thunder, silly. After all, it's the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made, covering all playstyles with their dynamic PvP. There's more than 2,000 tanks, planes, choppers, and ships ranging from the 1920s to the modern day, all of which are incredibly detailed, allowing for an immersive action-packed experience. But War Thunder has also added 3D anime Dakimakura, which can be placed anywhere on your tanks and can only be obtained with our link. The best part by far has to be all of the customization. There are thousands of user-made skins modeled after our favorite anime, available for free, meaning all your vehicles can look as dripped out as Boruto's new time skip design in 4K resolution. Everybody watching right now can use our link to get a free large bonus pack on PC, including premium vehicles, account boosters, and more. So jump into the battlefield with War Thunder today on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC for free. Now, to give even more evidence regarding the Boruto Sun and Moon story that is ongoing, Okio Kadachi, the original writer of Boruto, confirmed in Volume 10, scientists like Orochimaru will be in the forefront of shinobi, since they are the ones who are acquiring scientific knowledge to explain everything in creation and the entire natural universe, coming to the conclusion that whenever the world is explained by science, it gives rise to new jutsu, such as something like lightning creating Raikiri. For example, looking at chapter 79, Momoshiki states something similar. Omnipotence is an ultimate power only an all-knowing, almighty god can wield. The Shinjutsu of the Shinjutsu, a programming language that gods were said to have used to create worlds. This now proves Mitsuki is an attempt at Shinjutsu. The evidence is in Boruto episode 39. Whilst talking to his son, Orochimaru claims that Mitsuki is a perfect child whom he loves, holding more power than himself. And is it truly wrong for a shinobi like him to desire children? As there is one thing all human beings are forgiven for, and that is the acts born of and done for love. Into Blue Vortex, Boruto is now on a journey of redemption and forgiveness so that he can rebuild his old life with his friends. The key in doing so, which we will dive deeper into later, comes once again from the love and close bonds that he has built with everyone through Ninshu, as Naruto told Kawaki that chakra is a power that connects people to one another. Momoshiki stated the very same thing. Every person's consciousness by nature is linked through chakra. Now, since Himawari has Ninshu with Naruto, that's why in 2 Blue Vortex chapter 1, she doesn't believe he is actually dead, as she can feel the presence of his conscious. Mitsuki and everyone else will need to achieve the same thing. Or the fact that Ada literally mentions that trying to change everyone's memories again with omnipotence will bring about its own risks. Therefore, love is the ultimate key that will save the world, even after all the events of losing everything and Momoshiki's prophecy coming true. Boruto claims he still sees Kawaki as a brother and doesn't intend to kill him, but rather make his story about a brotherly quarrel in chapter 80. However, this all encompasses the entire theme of Boruto's story in 2 Blue Vortex, such as the good or evil nature of technological advances, which Mitsuki is, and the cycle of love rather than the cycle of hatred. For example, in episode 254, Boruto dies, where Sarada and Mitsuki are told to take revenge as it cannot be stopped, but guess what? They decide not to, which leads to him being saved by the enemy. And another instance is episode 249, where Team 7 get revenge for their friend Kagura from the Mist Village as he died. But instead of being happy, Boruto states he's at fault. Therefore, Instead of revenge being the driving force behind the story, all the conflict in Boruto stems from fighting for those they love and how far they would go to protect it. Ko does so for Ishiki, just like how Kawaki does for Naruto, which sent him down a dark path. Amado's love for his daughter led him to use everyone as tools. In fact, once you take a look at Orochimaru, it's easy to see his parallel to Amado. Amado tried to revive his daughter inorganically, whom he loved so much, but he failed as she wasn't her true self. He strives to use Shinjutsu to bring Delta back, even if his acts are evil. On the contrary, Orochimaru achieved the same thing, effectively creating a childlike clone organically that must discover who he is and is doing acts of good to protect the Star of Hope. Tonori dubbed Boruto his name in a dream, and Orochimaru purposely gave information to Mitsuki to make his own decision. Or was it? In truth, during Boruto episode 105, Orochimaru clearly admits that they encouraged and planted his will for a purpose. Orochimaru kept testing Mitsuki each time, erasing his memories, and on the 6th attempt, he mastered Sage Transformation and decided to rebel against him in order to forge his own destiny by stealing the scroll. Orochimaru and Log knew that he wouldn't be able to function as a real human alone, thus needed a son to brighten him up. Seeing the impact Naruto had on Sasuke is the exact reason why Orochimaru did this, so that Mitsuki can learn from him and preserve peace in the world. Naruto accepted Mitsuki without prejudice and hid his background from the rest of the village, barring just a few. Even the Konoha Council, the 5th Hokage and his own sensei, whose father was killed by Orochimaru, were not aware of this at the time. However, Naruto believed in Mitsuki's pursuit to carve out his own destiny and not to follow in the footsteps of who Orochimaru once was. The evidence for this is in multiple instances, such as in episode 41, 53, 66, and 182. Mitsuki's entire moral compass stems from Boruto itself. All his decision making and outlook on life is to follow him. As a result, Mitsuki questions who he is and why his sage mode is so important in assisting Boruto's prophecy. If we look at episode 73, when Boruto discovers that there are multiple clones, Orochimaru reveals that Mitsuki is in all of them and that the concept of Mitsuki is an experiment of his. This is because Orochimaru has a hidden intention behind why he created them. As when Boruto asks why he is so calm that his son abandoned Konoha and became a missing nin, Orochimaru replies by stating there is no need to worry, and if anyone gets wind of what Mitsuki actually is, the curse mark inside of him is implanted, which would automatically self-destruct. Yep, Orochimaru and his curse marks are back at it again. He implanted this into Mitsuki because it will protect the secret of his research from being exposed to anyone in the world, as they wouldn't understand it. For example, isn't it funny how Orochimaru can erase memories, alter them, and view Mitsuki's on a computer and back them up, much like what Ada Shinjutsu had done to the world? On top of that, Orochimaru already knew everything about the God Tree in episode 175, and how a mortal like Victor consuming the fruit would kill him, as it is meant for Otsutsuki and not humans. This gives another plot device for Kishimoto to bring back Mitsuki's real memories, as they would have been stored.
However, due to the current predicament in 2 Blue Vortex, where thanks to Ada's omnipotence, Mitsuki has false memories on who his true son is. Luckily, the anime has already laid the groundwork for Kishimoto to explain how Mitsuki regains his memories. This won't be possible until he enters the next stage of what it means to be a human though. For example, in the beginning he has never cried before, he doesn't need to eat food, and never had a dream until episode 71 onwards. Orochimaru referenced the 8 stages of human development, in which Mitsuki was entering stage 3 when he left Konoha. When he scanned his heart, Orochimaru states Mitsuki went through great personal discoveries about his being, wondering what choices are his own and if he was on the right path. In episode 105, Orochimaru was proud to see how much Mitsuki was maturing, suffering, but was concerned how he reacted to experiencing the negatives of human emotions such as personal loss. This began to harm Mitsuki's body as his brain was developing too fast. Thus Orochimaru declared the only way to heal it was by erasing his memory despite how far he had come. This was the curse of getting too close to Boruto. As Orochimaru put it, Mitsuki was being burnt by the sun. Ultimately, he gave Mitsuki a choice to continue enduring these painful emotions and live with the consequences it can bring, or have his mind reset. But of course, Mitsuki decided to keep his memories and bonds. However, now he's going through the repercussions of such a decision, as those memories are what have sent him down the path of wanting to kill Boruto. A decision Mitsuki will never be able to live with once it realizes the reality of the situation, especially since Boruto still accepted him after discovering his origins, even teaching Sarada a lesson that if she strives to become Hokage, they must give Mitsuki the benefit of the doubt for leaving the village as he was trying to discover himself. Funnily enough, Sarada uses this lesson in chapter 1 of 2 Blue Vortex, where she states to Shikamaru that she will give up her dream of Hokage to save Boruto's life. You see, Mitsuki's evolution is reaching the other stages of human development. The first was understanding the value of trust. Mitsuki began his life untrustworthy of Orochimaru and Log, but found it in Boruto. He experienced many more stages later in the series after meeting him, starting with autonomy versus self-doubt. This is the stage in which a child begins to make decisions on their own accord. For example, Orochimaru told Mitsuki not to reveal his true strength to anyone in the Chunin exams, and that if he does, he will not be able to remain in Konoha. This was a decision already made for him. However, Mitsuki ignored it and made his own choice and activated it to save Boruto from Momoshiki. Luckily for him though, he was swiftly knocked out by Urashiki before anyone could see. Later, when Inoki asked Team 7 to each pick a rock, Mitsuki was the last to choose, seemingly leaving him no choice in the matter. However, he decided for himself to not take any rock at all. Inoki stated the rock represents the core of one's being, that they must keep their core strong to endure all obstacles. Mitsuki's will was very unsteady, which led to the natural next step in his journey of stage 3, which Orochimaru confirmed. He questioned his standing in the world and if he was good or bad. He did so by leaving behind the village to aid the Akuta, another race of synthetic humans like him that needed Mitsuki's help in order to become perfect. However, during his journey, he discerned between good and evil after learning of Lord Ku's sinister plans and disagreeing with them. In contrast, Mitsuki saw good in Sekie, offering to take him to Orochimaru for modifications to save his life. In their battle, he saw that Mitsuki's intentions were true, conceded defeat, and voiced his wishes of connecting with others, regretting that he couldn't have the life Mitsuki had despite being an artificial human as well. By the end of the arc, Mitsuki understood what Orochimaru meant, that being his father and mother doesn't matter, nor his origins. Rather, it's the core of the person which held importance, as his will was now even stronger, just like Inoki mentioned. Thus, he betrayed Lord Q and activated Sage Mode again so that he could defeat his opponent, who he believed not only posed a risk to Boruto, but also Konoha. However, the outcome of his decision helped him reach stage 4 of grasping his self-worth, as he was accepted even more by his teammates Boruto and Sarada, who actively searched out ways to understand and support his growth, which paid off because later on he used his Sage Mode once again to save Boruto and Sarada from deeper after he whooped their ass. But things changed after Ada's omnipotence occurred, as all this love he had for Boruto was switched over to Kawaki. Thus, Mitsuki believed that Boruto was actually a threat to his son, hence why he's now so full of murderous intent and why he abandoned all rationale, going straight for the kill with Sage Mode. But there is a saving grace for Boruto, and that is the next step in Mitsuki's development cycle, which we start to see during the time skip, starting with identity versus role confusion. This is where typically teenagers and young adults begin to explore the idea of who they truly are based on the relationships they have built with others. Chapter 1 of 2 Blue Vortex showcased Mitsuki experiencing this exact symptom after seeing the harsh, cold-blooded tone of Kawaki. This made him question if he truly was his son. The subsequent next step is intimacy and love. This is a key theme in Boruto's story, such as Sarada awakening her Mangekyo Sharingan via these means. Mitsuki often often uses Boruto and Sarada's relationship to understand human emotions, giving reason to him asking Sarada multiple times whether or not she loves Boruto and believes that they are a good match. This stems from his own understanding of the sun, as it is linked to his will of fire and purpose. For example, Sasuke went from being a ninja that wanted to destroy all bonds to a ninja that is risking everything to protect them. When Sarada asked Sasuke how does he know he's connected to Sakura, he explained that her existence was proof of their love, and in chapter 80 he admits his memories cannot be trusted and the reason he will train Boruto is because of Sarada. Similarly, Mitsuki's understanding of humans comes from moments such as witnessing Boruto's selfless actions to bring about resolvement. For instance, in episode 254 he was willing to die instead of get revenge, whilst in contrast Kawaki said he would kill Araumi. Boruto's nature is of love and forgiveness. This is something Mitsuki himself adopted from him, as moonlight is only the reflection of the sun's. We see this with Mitsuki's love and care for animals, as in the Jugo arc, Mitsuki stopped Sarada from killing the birds and gave the antidote serum to Sogetsu to reign over the birds, curing them. Likewise, when Team 7 found a stray kitten that was shivering from the cold, they decided to have Mitsuki care for it, who he soon grew attached to and named Mikazuki, deciding to keep it. Now, God forbid you watched the Chocho arc. But I did torture myself by watching it, so leave a like for my sanity please, okay? It was a really tough time. However, there was one important aspect to it, and it's that when Chocho was trying to change herself to abide by modern beauty standards to rizz up an actor, it was Mitsuki who told her that she was fine the way she is and talked to her through her love of potato chips. She thanks him for helping her find herself and learn that sharing things with whom you love is important, where he does so with Orochimaru, making his father intrigued by this slight change in Mitsuki's nature. His entire character is bound to Boruto's, so once Mitsuki understands himself better, he will know who his son is, especially according to his memories where Boruto would say things such as, "I'll do everything I can to convince him, and that's why I want Mitsuki and Sarada by my side to watch over me," whilst Kawaki is saying, "Please can you just leave me alone, man? You stink and I ain't doing no speech no jutsu, bitch." Therefore, Kawaki does not radiate the sunlight like Boruto did, hence the reflection Mitsuki already adapted to isn't connecting back to him. This contrast happens once more in Two Blue Vortex, where Kawaki says that he will kill Boruto, whereas his brother says that he will save him, which is why Mitsuki believes his memories don't match up with Kawaki's past actions since he reversed his life with Boruto. In chapter 69, Mitsuki ponders on the psychology of humans, wondering if it's really that hard to admit something like your true feelings. However, as the story progresses, this is a question he will learn to answer for himself, as in episode 254, Mitsuki states he never wants to experience losing Boruto ever again, and this bond will help put him on the right path. Only then Mitsuki will have entered his penultimate stage of development, trying to contribute something towards the world. In this case, helping Sarada, Sumire, Sasuke and Boruto figure a way to restore everyone's memories whilst also helping in the battle against the Otsutsuki. The final stage of Mitsuki's development then is usually experienced towards the end of one's life, where they will reminisce and ponder upon whether or not they led a meaningful, satisfying life. Now of course, don't forget to use our link in the pinned comment and description below to enjoy the battle in War Thunder.